95% of men have no friends at all. Today's video comes from the PBS NewsHour. Their channel will be linked in the description of the video so that you can go check them out. Watch to the end of the video to fully
Men are stuck in what's been dubbed a friendship recession, with 20% of single men now saying they don't have any close friends. And more than half of all men report feeling unsatisfied with the size of their friend groups. I recently traveled to Phoenix to take a closer look at the implications of male loneliness and how some men are confronting it.
A great way to start off 2024, just another meetup.
On a recent night in Phoenix, a group of men gathered on a rooftop bar to talk about their goals for the new year.
I am training for a half marathon, my first one ever.
Spend more time with family. I have my grandparents, like my grandfather, and he'll be 91 this year.
Wow.
Make moments like this where I can sit and talk and, look for mentorship and even offer it.
This friends group was started by 38-year-old Quincy Winston. After leaving the military in 2015, Winston moved to Arizona with his wife LaToya and started working as an IT specialist. But for years, he says he struggled to make friends here. Were you feeling lonely and disconnected?
Definitely, especially when it came to having male friends. I didn't have any, and that lack of connection put me in a place where I didn't know exactly what to do about it.
So, in March of 2022, Winston turned to the social media platform Meetup and decided to invite other men to a local restaurant.
I think we went to a restaurant called Papados, and I didn't know who would show up or if anybody would show up.
Sounds nerve-wracking.
And it was awkward, but once the guys came in and hearing some of their explanations and what they were looking for, I found out we had a lot more in common than I thought.
7 men showed up for that first event,
Are you guys warm?
which Winston says only happened because of his wife. You encouraged him to form this group.
Yeah, I wanted him to have a social life, like outside of just us doing things together all the time, which was great, but I still felt like he needed to have guy time and guy friends.
Yeah, she made it very evident that I need to go make some friends.
Go disappear for a little bit.
Go disappear. Now you have some friends. Yes, come back, but go. Yeah, chicken needs a little bit more time. I'm just grabbing the hot dogs right now.
Yeah, she wanted him to get out of the house from time to time so that, Chad, Tyrone, Ray, Pookie, Enrique, Miguel, Kwan, Pancho. She loves little Pancho. She loves little Pancho. And this guy being around all the time was messing up the flow with little Pancho. For example, he goes to work and then she can only see little Pancho when he's at work. She wants him out of the house in the evening too. She wants little Pancho to be able to spend the night, or to stay late, to stay until late, because this man is not coming back because he's going to be out with these other dudes who don't really care about him. So that little Pancho can, blow the back out. Little Pancho can laugh with her. They can watch TV together, drink tequila together. He can tell her about Mexico, and familia. Exactly. She loves she loves his little stories about his life in Sinaloa. Oh my goodness. And his hermanos and tío and tía. Niños, ay. I'm telling you, she loves him. She loves him so much. So this dude being around so often, it was messing up her flow. So now she has him out of the house and Pancho could step in. Sometimes when Pancho can't make it, Sancho steps in because they're family, so they take turns. But it doesn't matter because, again, it's su familia.
Still meet up about once a week for activities like this backyard barbecue. Winston's meetup group now has nearly 130 members. It speaks to the need for connection that your group is that big. I mean, is that how you see it?
Yeah, it does. And, with all the technology that we have to keep us more connected to where we can communicate instantly with anyone, anywhere. But if you notice, we don't talk as much. We text more. A lot gets lost in translation because we just don't have that physical connection.
I'm the newest member of the group, but I'm also one of the oldest members of the group.
Connection is what 61-year-old Robert Montgomery was looking for.
What motivated you to join this group?
my whole thing was I said I needed friends. Because I didn't have any. I got tired of being, basically isolated at home all the time, and I spent my birthday at home by myself, and I didn't like that. I was like, okay, no, I can't do this anymore.
The truth is that these people are full of crap, and even PBS is full of crap. They said 20% of men report to having no friends, and yet they're calling it a national crisis. 20%, they're full of crap. They don't want to admit that it's really roughly 95% of men based on statistics. Okay? And many of you can attest to this from your own life. Most men have no close friends or virtually no one they can really depend upon. It's the honest to goodness truth. We spend most of our lives alone. And most men are now walking away because they realize that it's better to be alone and to feel alone. It's better to be alone than to be with someone and feel alone. How many guys are in miserable relationships, miserable marriages, and it's only after they've been in these horrible relationships with these people who don't care about them that they finally are like, you know what? I'm glad being by myself. Like a lot of women will say that, oh, what men are doing is wrong because they don't want to date and have relationships with anymore. What women don't understand is that men are not just walking away from relationships with women, they're walking away from relationships with other men too. They're walking away from relationships with women, they're walking away from relationships with men, they're walking away from relationships with society. Okay? I've said this before and I'll say it again. Not all MWAs are MGTOWs, but all MGTOWs are MWAs. Okay? And the final stage of MWA is basically saying, I don't want to have anything to do with society anymore. So MWAs are men with alternatives, and you are choosing from your best alternative, or men with options. And this includes people like the passport kings who go overseas to find someone overseas. They're choosing, or if they can find someone in Western society, they do that as well. But they're choosing from their best options. And then you have the MWAs who say that they don't want to have anything. So they graduate from MWA to MGTOW. And MGTOW is basically, I don't have anything to do with relationships. I don't want to have anything to do with society. I'm just done with it. So they're opting out of dating, they're opting out of society, and they're moving away from the two. And they're basically finding peace and peace by themselves. And of course, there's some MWAs who say, well, it's not definitive, it's not a forever thing, but I'm just chilling on my own right now, which is fine. But there are some dudes who say, no, I'm just straight up MGTOW. MGTOWs, they have no plan of dating. They have no plan they have no plan on dating, getting married, having any of those. They've basically shut that door and any of those possibilities, you know? So this is really where women have pushed society. Most men have no close friends anymore. Most men have no real friends anymore. All right. You don't have, for a lot of guys, they don't have friends. They have acquaintances. How much can you really depend on these people? You can't. All right. You absolutely can't. And of course, there are some guys who are like, well, I have a bunch of friends and you're just if you don't have friends, it's because that says a lot about you. It says that I'm not a people pleaser. It says I rather my peace. People bring problems into your lives. They do. Most men today only want money and women. That's really money and kitty. All right. And they bring so many problems into our lives because a lot of society has become destructive for men. Society has become this cesspit of we don't like you, we don't want you. And now men are waking up and like, okay, you don't like us, you don't want us, so we're walking away and we're turning our backs on society. We're turning our backs on a society that does not like us. We're turning our backs on people who do not like us, and we're just going to focus on ourselves and our own happiness. And that's what's happening now. All right. So it's 95% of men who basically opted out of this. Think about this carefully. 90% of men are no longer dating, no longer dating, no longer getting married, no longer involved in relationships. Only one out of every 1,000 men are currently getting married. These are the official statistics. That's less than 1% of men. And again, you guys, please stop. Please stop. I know you won't stop, but please stop. There's at least one or two of you that'll still go in the comments and put yes, angry, but that's still one too many. It's less than 1%. Yes, angry, but that's still one too many. On a side note, I just wanted to share this with you guys. I wasn't planning to do anything today. I was like, it was literally, today I'm not going to do anything, nothing at all. Woo-hoo. I really was not planning to do anything. But what ended up happening is I made a poll. I made a poll for you guys, and it was, should angry guy work on today's video or go back to bed? And look at this. It's a great poll. It was a great poll. 67% said go back to bed. Only 18% said that I should, work on today's video. And I was going to roll with that. I was literally like, okay. And I got back in the bed, and I was in there for like 2 hours trying to fall asleep. I have some Sony XM4s that I picked up over Christmas. I got a pretty good deal on them. I really wish I had gone with the XM5s, but I got the XM4s. I got them for like $200, and I bought some headphone replacements and put them on there, so they're working great. They're pretty comfortable. They're way better than my Studio Pro headphones I got for like $250, and way better. The audio is so much better on the XM4s. And the crazy thing is, like, I was there for like 2 hours, maybe 2-3 hours, like trying to fall asleep, couldn't fall asleep. And I'm looking at my phone, and I look at, and the poll was like, yeah, man, just go to sleep, take the day off. The thing about YouTube is that if you take a single day off on YouTube, it's kind of a domino effect. So your earnings will just go down, your earnings will vanish, and it can take anywhere from 3 days to a week for your earnings to normalize again. I don't know if it's the way that YouTube sells ads or whatever, but it's kind of like you have to have a video out every day at this time, or else there are consequences. And I don't know what it is, but it could be the way that ads are sold, or the way things are designed on the platform. But if I take a day off, it definitely throws me off immensely, because I'm a person who releases content every single day usually. I did take a few days off in January and a little time off in December because I got pissed off. But, I was still putting out videos periodically, but I'm back to work now, back to releasing content every single day and try to get out multiple videos a day. But when I looked at the poll, it was like people were like, yeah, angry, take that time off, bro. You're good. And then someone left a comment. All right. Someone left a comment, and it broke my heart. This was from Wool PH, and he says, of course you should work on your next video. That's how you make money. You do like money, don't you? Crack. Back to the salt mine. And that was that. And that's why you will have a video today. Yeah. But it is how it is. It's life. But you know what's nice about this? All my money is my money. I don't have a wife. I don't have kids. I don't have anyone who I have to give my money to. Okay? A lot of men who are in relationships, now they're broke. Now they're broke. They've had to rebuild themselves, and they lost so much. I don't have any kids. I don't have a wife. I don't have children, and that's a joy. And that's one of the reasons why so many men are choosing to avoid relationships, because they come with modern relationships come with consequences. People bring so much stress into your life that it's really, really not worth it.
Certainly not alone. Only 21% of men in the U.S. say they get emotional support from friends every week. That's compared to 41% of women.
Sometimes as men, we struggle to say, I need you.
Richard Reeves is the author of Boys and Men, Why the Modern Male is Struggling, Why It Matters, and What to Do About It.
Richard Reeves is a bad dude. He's a bad dude. So let me tell you about Richard Reeves. He's a man who's actually going after MGTOW. He actually went after MGTOW on NBC News and said that he doesn't consider MGTOWs men because they're basically tossed up their hands and said that, that no one likes us and we're just gonna go our own way. And, and he doesn't approve of that. And he said it's about being a man is about sacrifice and giving more than you receive. Giving more than you receive. So men are walking away from society. And what does he do? He immediately says that the problem is that men don't want to serve society anymore and serve women. Men don't want to be generous anymore. And it's because you don't want to be generous anymore why you're suffering. If you were more generous, then you would have and you were serving women and giving more than you receive, then you would be happy and you would have people and you were willing to. It's about sacrifice, and you're willing to sacrifice yourself. Then you would have fulfillment in your life. This is the entirety of society, about sacrifice. It's being a man is about sacrifice. And the reason why these men are suffering is because they no longer want to sacrifice. And then you've got the women like, yes, preach. See, guys, Men are done with this crap. Men are so done with it. They are so sick and tired of it. That's why a lot of men are focusing on getting their money right now. That's why y'all should be just focusing on getting your money and investing in crypto. All right. You can invest in crypto and let it just grow, or you can learn how to do things like day trading and make money every single day working from home. Just getting your bag. Don't forget to check out Angry's Crypto Academy, because guys, you can see that hard times are coming. And just like when the Greek economy collapsed, the ATM stopped working. People could only get $50 out a day from like a single ATM. You had teenagers that were selling physical intimacy for €3, and many of you, so the price of a cheese sandwich, and it wasn't just the girls, it was also the boys, it was also the men, it was women and men. You had doctors doing it over there. All right, €3, €3, the cost of a cheese sandwich, and a lot of you bad men from back then were like, angry. That's still €2 too many. That's still €2 too many. So, I mean, guys, what happened? The ATM stopped working. The banks chained up the doors, and they had no way of protecting their wealth. Their money basically became like the Bolivar. And now we have something that can protect and safeguard our future when it comes to crypto. And you can actually check out Angry's Crypto Academy, because we teach you how to buy, sell, trade, and invest in crypto. And we'll tell you exactly which coins will mint you millionaires and how to spot potential coins to invest in. So don't miss out on that. You can find the academy linked in the description of the video. But I mean, guys, there's nothing else for you. You should be focusing on getting right, getting right with God and getting your money. God is all you need. God is all you need. I know it sounds hard to you to believe it, but God is all you need. All right. We don't need monogamy. We need God. Because after all the pain and suffering that I passed through in my life, I wanted to go closer to God. But for me to grow closer to God, He had to take all of those people away from me. I went through a lot of suffering and pain. I still go through pain and suffering in my life, but it's made me more resilient. And it's also brought me much closer to God. And at the same time, it's made it very easy for me just to cut the people off. All right. Like, I am, I am, I was raised in the United States, but I will tell you something. I definitely have the soul of a Japanese. And one of the things that Japanese are good at, it's ghosting people. And I don't play games. Like, I'll cut you off and I'll ghost you like no other. And that's how it is. That is really, really how it is. You know? And as I've grown closer to God, I feel less and less apprehensive about cutting people out of my life, about ghosting people. When it comes to ghosting people, I don't need you, and I really don't care if you need me. I'm just being so honest. When you look at the behavior of Gen Z in society, people are like, they're the next generation. I believe the children are the future. No, they're not. Shut the hell up. Gen Z is not the future. Gen Z, or many, if not most Gen Zers will spend the majority of their lives in and out of prison, while many, if not most Gen Alphas will spend the majority of their lives in prison. In prison or imprisoned, institutionalized, you know, incarcerated, whatever. They're going to be locked up for the majority of their lives. For Gen Z, it's going to be like coming home. For Gen Alpha, it's going to be like a permanent staycation. All right. So Gen Z, they'll be just going in and out of prison for things like petty theft, like stealing packages off porches, stealing from Walmart, stuff like that. Gen Alpha, they'll be going in for violent crimes. They will 100% be going in for those types of crimes. So they'll be getting long stints. Like a 5-year stint is nothing for an alpha. 5-year stint is not. A lot of these little alphas, they're gonna spend so much time in prison that it's like a 10-year stint. It's like they started their journey in prison. They started their journey with incarceration when they were like 12 or 13. So by the time they're like 24, they've already been in prison for 10 years. Because they went in, they did like 3, or then they went in, did another 5, went in, did another 2. So it's like by the time they're 24 years old, they've already spent like 10 years in prison. It's a and they're not even 25 years old yet. So a decade is not, and they're still young, and they had fun in prison. They grew up in prison. So it was like a lot of stupidity going on in there. So it's like it's gonna be a normal thing for these people. Like, oh, I did 20. Someone's like, I did 20 years in prison. 20 years in prison, bro. How old are you? I'm 33 years old. What the 33 years old? And then you're someone saying like 30. Yeah, man. I wouldn't like I started off this thing when I was like 12, but there's younger than me. What do you mean there's younger than me? I'm telling you, there's younger than me. I know some dudes that they're younger than me and they have 25 years already. No, you cannot have 25 years already. And lo and behold, no, there's some dude who went in at 8 years old. And you find out there's some dude who went in at 8 and like, no, he did 25 years. No, dude isn't lying. Dude isn't lying. So alphas, they are going to be prison rats. They are going to be prison rats 100%. Like, the Z's are going to spend their lives in and out of prison. The alphas are going to spend the majority of their lives in prison, incarcerated, which is where they belong. Hallelujah, amen.
Male loneliness. Why do men have such a hard time forming friendships and keeping them as they progress through life?
You can't neglect a friendship and expect it to just grow. You have to work at it. You have to find the time. And my observation is that many women are just better at doing that and building it into their lives. So it's lack of purpose.
Reeves also says over the last 4 decades, there's been a steady deterioration of male friendships.
For men under the age of 30, 15% say they don't have a close friend. And that's up from 3% in 1990. So we have a really difficult challenge now of helping men to find places, spaces, and ways to be with other men and to sustain those male friendships.
Last year, the U.S. Surgeon General issued an advisory outlining the devastating health effects of loneliness and isolation, including increased risks for heart disease, strokes, and dementia. And while men make up slightly less than 50% of the U.S. population, they now account for nearly 80% of all.
I think these statistics on young male isolation and relatedly is part and parcel of this displacement that we see.
80%. Guys, if this was women, if that kind of number existed for women, it would be absolutely insane. Even men would be saying, wow, this is ridiculous. But now the number has gotten to 80% and society does not even talk about it. That just illustrates how much society does not like us as men. Society is not designed for us. It is designed to enrich the crooks that run and operate the state and their agents, basically women and simps. Our society does not like us. All right. It just uses us. We're nothing more than ATMs. It only wants our attention, our time, and our money. And that's it. That's it. Modern women do not like us. They make it very, very clear that they do not like us. And we need to be focused on ourselves and our relationships with God. And there's so many men who are so foolish who are like, no, I'm going to be a good family man and blah, blah, blah. And God this and God wants us. Listen to me. God wants you to take care of yourself. If you want to go down that path and you're going to go to hell, that's fine. That's between me and God. No, God said that if you don't love your brother, and your sister, that's fine. I'll find out when I meet him. All right. When I meet God, I'll find out. It's not about that. No, you just told me that I'm headed to hell. So, I mean, I didn't know you could send me there. You're sending yourself there. That's cool, bro. I'm going to bank on the fact that my relationship with God is separate from my relationship with human beings. But if you can preach and you can say whatever you want, all right? And hold on to your beliefs and keep on spreading them, and I'll keep on doing me, and we'll see how things work out. And most men that listen to Uncle Angry eventually realize that Uncle Angry is right. Okay, when you get mixed up with people can actually result in you becoming drifting further away from God. Sometimes you have to keep your relationship with God separate from human beings, because people will use God as a means of controlling you. And that's what our parents did. The boomers did. The boomers are bad people, very, very bad people. And they were manipulative. They gaslit us. They hustled us. They deceived us. They finessed us. And this is just who they are. This is what they've done, and that's between them and God. But as you have to wake up and realize that no one is coming to save you as a man. Especially modern women, after everything that they've done, they think that the state is there to serve them and protect them, and the state actually cares about them. The state only cares about the state, all right? And women are only given special privileges in return for operating as agents of the state. Women don't understand that they are under the complete control of the state. They traded the man for the state. The man was their provider and protector. That is no longer the case. They are now basically under the control and ownership of the state. So the state can say and do whatever it wants when it comes to these individuals. Look at what's happening in China right now, where women are being told that they have to have a bunch of children, or if they don't have a bunch of children, they are going to be punished. The CCP will come in and they'll destroy their roof and these are the same CCP that utilized sterilization 20 years ago under the one-child policy. It was absolutely forced. The same CCP that punished you if you had more than one child is now the same CCP that is demanding that you have 3 or 4 or 5 children, or else you're going to be punished. And of course, most people are like, yeah, it's not going to happen. But this is the reality. What the state basically creates problems for the state. And then the state is like, oh my gosh, we screwed up. Okay, we're going to punish you if you don't fix the problem. It's going to, because now the state is losing power. It's losing money. It's losing resources. It's destroyed. When the state destroys the country, the people at the top, they're not very bright. They start to panic and they start looking for every possible way of remedying it and passing the buck on to you. You should be focused on getting your wealth and your resources, not focused on women, focused on relationships with God and yourself. Let me ask you something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy, to teach you everything you need to know about crypto so you can protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. Plus, we alert you to new crypto trends so you can profit before everyone else even knows what's happening. Right now, I've just published an exclusive investment guide inside the Academy, and it's linked in the description below. In it, I reveal the one coin that could make you a millionaire. A coin so revolutionary, it could change everything. If you missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is your second chance. This isn't just about financial freedom. It's about survival. When the system collapses and everyone else is selling, you'll be the one buying, prepared to weather the storm and thrive while others struggle to survive. Don't wait. This knowledge isn't optional. It's critical. The link's in the description. Go check it out now.
From friendship.
What should we be doing to reverse these trends?
We do need to be intentional about male friendship. We need to be intentional about combating against male loneliness, and that we have to create spaces that they're not going to create themselves.
That's at the heart of Men's Sheds, a nonprofit that began in Australia in the 1990s and now has 27 locations across the country.
So then I have to go through here then?
Yeah.
The goal here, to reach older men who now have the highest rate of...
I had no idea other men like myself, when they retire from work, they lose their work friends, and then most men struggle to get a circle of new friends.
74-year-old Phil Johnson has helped start several men's sheds around Minneapolis. A couple of times a month, these mostly retired men come together to both work on projects and to simply sit around and chat.
Men feel more open about talking to guys like themselves about health concerns they may have.
A couple years ago,
yeah. So the research shows over and over again that men do best when they're doing something and they can do it together.
It's a chance for men to share a laugh, but also seek advice.
We tackle some tough problems, like is higher and retired men. We've had 3 men that I know of that have lost their spouses, And there's always going to be somebody else in the group can say, hey, here's how I did it. Here's some ideas. Here's something you should try to do.
And no, you're not alone.
Yeah.
You have brothers, you have a pack, you have a tribe, you have a family away from home.
Listen to me. We come into this world alone, only with God, and we will leave this world alone, only with God. You have no one else, and no one is coming to save you. People are temporary in our lives. Let me tell you how relationships go. You have the beginning, middle, and end. That's the conclusion. All right. I want to tell you something. I have put so many friends out of my life. It's interesting. I have friends that I thought I was going to be friends. We're going to be friends for the rest of our lives. Gone. I mean, like almost like 10, 20-year friendships gone. And the more I get rid of these people in my life, the easier it becomes to get rid of new friends that come along. It becomes much easier. You feel good about it. And it's always kind of tempting to say, no, maybe I should keep this friendship. But then you realize, what am I actually going to gain out of it? I have my peace and no one is coming to save me. I'll just worry about myself and getting money and and if, hey, something happens and it happens, and I pass away and that's it. But until then, I'm just going to keep on fighting for myself, and taking care of myself and focusing on my wealth and resources, not on enriching the pockets of someone else or giving them my time or pretending to actually care about their problems when they could care less about mine. I don't need their feedback, nor do I want their feedback. It's basically I have to figure it out for myself. This is, I guess, guys, you could see the Gen X reeking off me. But in the end, that's kind of how Gen X is. Gen X is the last generation of functional human beings, and people who grew up during the Gen X era. Zennials, Gen Xers, Zennials, and older millennials, people who were born to these boomer parents and who had to basically fight for survival. A lot of people from our era, they're not around anymore. They didn't make it. We're just the ones who survived. That's really how it is. So I'm not really crying for a lot of these people. No one's coming to save you, and modern women are going to soon really feel the kind of loneliness that men have dealt with, but we've had to survive. Women will not be able to go through this, what men have passed through, not even a smidgen of it, because extraordinary amounts of hardship are coming in Western society. And I've said this for the average man, despite the fact that it's going to become near impossible to find a job going forward in the future. And the only kind of jobs that people will be able to get are going to be, food delivery jobs. A lot of those jobs are going to start drying up once AI takes over. But yeah, I mean, a lot of you already have so many like Hispanic people that are people who come from other countries that are competing for these food delivery jobs. Like, it's going to be really, really hard. It's going to be really, really hard. And like, that's when these people, these losers are going to be really demanding tips. Like, if you think they're bad now, you're going to see how bad it gets later on. This is the reason why I don't really order food anymore. Like, it's been a long time since I ordered out, since I ate anything from a restaurant. Like, all my food is prepared right now. All of my food is cooked at home now, and that's pretty much it. And you save quite a bit of money with, in terms of growth when just, buying your own groceries. It still can get expensive because it can still get quite expensive because, the cost of food has gone up so much. It's like 4 times what it was just for groceries compared to, 5 years ago. But yeah, I mean, it's still better than eating out. And, you don't, and ever since I stopped ordering out, I can say one thing for sure. Ever since I stopped ordering out, I've noticed that I don't get sick as often as I used to. Like, I stopped pretty much I stopped eating out last year, and after I stopped eating out, I stopped getting sick. Like, I'm like, there's some days where you feel groggy and you feel like you're coming down with something, and then I'm like good again. Like, I'm literally good again after within like a few, like 2, 3 days, and I'm not like I would often lose my sense of smell, and like, my nose would be clogged and have to blow my nose. I'm not even getting, like, maybe I might get a stuffy nose, maybe, but not. It doesn't last. Within like 72 hours, I'm back to normal. I'm not getting like the normal flu. Like, I have not had a consistent flu for like a while now, like a while. Like I just like skipped over, like I skipped over the summer, I skipped over the fall, I skipped over, the late winter. There are times where I just didn't feel well, but like nothing long term. And a lot of that has happened right after I stopped, like completely cut fast food out of my life. And that leads me to really wonder if, like, there has to be a correlation. There has to be a relationship between the two things, because that food is really dirty. That's that food that we're eating from fast food restaurants. It's 100% not good for us. It's loaded with trash. It's absolute. It's trash in and of itself. McDonald's is food that's not suitable for human beings to consume. That's one thing that we all know. It's not real food. It's something that we should all actively avoid because it's poison. It's absolutely poison. And I want to say, every once in a while it's okay. And I say for the average person, sure it is. For me, I'm just not messing with it. I'm just not messing with it. If I want ice cream, I'd rather make my own ice cream at home. Like, you can make your own ice cream. There's so many recipes on the internet. You can make your own ice cream, good ice cream as well. That's healthy, and that's like almond, like we're talking about, like with like almond milk and monk fruit and stuff like that. And it's tasty stuff, are natural flavored. And in the end, you have your own ice cream. It tastes pretty damn good. And it's like very low in calories. Like, it's keto. You can make like keto ice cream and it's like low in calories. And it's like, what the hell? I made this myself. It didn't cost me. It probably, to make it in the end, like to make a nice big batch of it, it pretty much cost right around the same or less than what it costs to buy it in the store. To buy a pint of it in the store. And you're like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna do this. I think I'm just gonna do this. And I think that's kind of like, that should be very much the focus of a lot of men, to begin learning how to focus on and prioritize doing things for yourself and learning how to make money, passive income, and make money while sitting at home. I just want to tell you a little bit about the Crypto Trading for Dummies blueprint. With this blueprint, you'll learn how crypto day trading can help you earn daily profits, even starting small. Imagine making $30 a day with $100, or even hundreds daily trading small amounts. Working just an hour a day. It's written so simply that even a fifth grader can do it. With banks collapsing and the economy in chaos, this skill is your lifeline. Click the link in the description to check it out now.
Arizona, I was invited on a morning hike with Quincy Winston's friend group, an outing organized by 29-year-old Nick Crum, who says joining the group has exceeded his expectations.
It's just grown so much, and we've been able to meet so many quality people, so many people who actually want to be vulnerable, talk about the things that we like to talk about, talk about our life, build that genuine connection with one another.
That's exactly what Winston says he hoped for when he created the group.
We need each other, and we need to support, uplift, encourage, and motivate other men to, seek friendship.
Quincy Winston now wants to expand his friend group beyond the Phoenix area, so meetups like this one can become more common for men across the country.
Figure out what we can do to bring people together.
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Jeff Bennett in Phoenix.
No one is coming to save you. No one really cares about you like that, little bro. Like, that's just the reality of it. No one really cares about you like that, little bro. Okay? Society only wants your attention, your time, and your money. It doesn't want you. And there are people who are going to talk crap to you because, they can't accept it for themselves what society is, or they want to keep you and use you as their servant. Because that's what men have basically become. We've become servants for society. I saw this, there was this comment, and I basically posted it, and it actually really resonated with a lot of guys. And I wrote, smart men learn from their mistakes, wise men learn from others' mistakes. And if we read this, it was a response to my video, 90% of men now refuse to get married. This came from Big Dan. Shout out to Big Dan. Shout out to Big Dan. And he says, widower at 50, dated a bit, bought a motorcycle, dated a bit, bought second motorcycle, looking for a third motorcycle. So basically, he became widowed, started dating, went and bought a motorcycle, then started dating some more, bought a second motorcycle, and then that was the end of it. And now he's looking for the third motorcycle, didn't even just stop dating. And if we look at some comments from other men, Mike Pierce says 12 years divorced, and the woman still can't stand on her own 2 feet and carry her obligation. There you go. This is what most women were not even most women are not designed to live without a husband. They are not designed to live without a partner. And it's because of Sims, including Sims on my channel, who say that women are just as capable of surviving on their own without men, why a lot of women are going to fall into extraordinary states of poverty and destitution, because they're raised to believe that they don't need men. They're men. We are now 3 generations of men raised by women, many whom believe that women actually don't need men. And a lot of men believe this so much that it doesn't actually matter what happens to women right now, because there are men who genuinely believe, and it's not like, just out of HATE, they genuinely believe that that women in general do not need men to survive. And it's not true. But because most men now believe this and most women now believe this, even as things are going downhill for women, for women in Western society, most men won't even view it as being mean-spirited or unkind. They'll just say, no, women will be fine. They'll bounce back. Just someone will always bail them out. They'll find work, or the state will bail them out, or our Sims will bail them out. And they will not really believe and accept until it's mostly too late for women, that, and eventually, and they won't even care that, these women are not doing well. They're ending up in extraordinary states of poverty and destitution, and no one is coming to save them this time. And at that point, most men are like, well, I guess they're just going to experience what we've experienced all along. And I'm going to go home now. Yeah, but anyway, I'm going back inside. I'm going to go play some video games and play and practice guitar. I remember a comment from one guy who was like, I suck at guitar, and basically all I do is just stay at home now, chill, play guitar, and relax. No relationships. So it's like most men are just happy being alone. Even if you suck at something, most guys are happy at just doing what they suck at, and enjoying themselves doing that. But yeah, guys, 95% of men have no friends at all. And this is just the commonplace of society today. But women are increasingly reporting that they also have no friends, and the socioeconomic status is also deteriorating rapidly. So while this is a hard time for men, most men have to just learn how to be alone. And once you learn how to be alone, that's when you really find peace in your life, because people suck. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. If you guys are wondering what game is on the screen, it's called Blasphemous. Let me know what you guys think about everything we talked about in the video, and we'll talk about it in the description. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWM and walking away. And cheers.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.